Welcome to another audio clip for the Freeman Project. It has been 2 weeks since our first rally for this movement in downtown Houston, and in a multiple set of ways the rally was a failure and a success. It was a failure in the sense that attendance was not nearly what I had hoped it would be. I had hoped to establish the method, the basis of this movement, to show how we show up in force and intimidate those around us. But of course that requires a critical threshold of attendees to achieve that effect. But I am not thoroughly discouraged from that, because I realize that no one on the internet can place their faith in any movement until it shows something on the ground. And in that sense, this was a success, because we have proven that this movement is not simply an internet virtual movement. It is real. It is manned by real people, real men with rifles, and it happens. These events occur regardless of who or what may be against it, against our rallies. Regardless of who may organize to stop them, these rallies will happen. Regardless of the skepticism we may meet with, these rallies will happen. And thus, in that sense, it is a success that I can show that to future members of the Freeman Project, that yes, you don't have to worry about this movement not being real or not being something that it claims to be. It is what it is. It is simply angry armed men who come together to stand and listen to the speeches of a few others who have something to say. And I hope that some of you will go and look at these speeches that were posted and realize that, as rough as they are, that this is only the beginning, and that our method, our procedures will be refined, and our speeches will become more powerful, delivered by people of greater weight in the future. There can be no doubt of that. The other reason I would consider this to be a success was that I myself learned the practical aspects of what it takes to put together one of these rallies. Having to jump through the hoops of this foolish government class, their ridiculous little laws, permits, and such. And those are things that we have to deal with or account for until this movement grows large enough that we can simply ignore those irritations. But so I have learned a lot from this experience, never having put together any sort of public event of any kind. I thought it came off rather well. It could have been far worse. An interesting thing about this rally was the number of police officers attending, some 15 or so, outnumbered the number of Freemen out there. I found that rather amusing. And nevertheless, I went ahead and delivered my speech, which was a gauntlet thrown down against their very class. I had no fear of those officers. There's nothing they could do. And we will continue with our movement. Enough about the rally, though. I just hope you all will go and take a look at some of the speeches. Join up on the Facebook site, and hopefully we'll make April an event to remember, something far beyond this first one. Other things I'd like to talk about in this time are what I see to be the distractions of many of the people about the nature of their government. This TSA hubbub, for example, is nothing but a distraction. It is, on the scope of it, the predations of the government upon the people that are imposed at airports is nothing compared to what this government does to them daily through its tax code and its police state in various other facets. But nevertheless, it seems to have stung the people into some sort of criticism of the government. And so be it. I have never spoken about the TSA and those useless mutts because I consider their actions on the periphery of what ails us today. I would gladly have 1,000 TSAs if I could get rid of the IRS and the rest of the police forces that corruptly intimidate and extract through confiscation the wealth of the people. I mean, just think about it. On the order of the scale of things, what does it matter that you pass through an X-ray device that scans you naked, or have your crotch grabbed by some moron? What does that matter compared to handing over 40 to 50% of your labor every year? You see, that is the thing that burns me, is that an entire nation can sit here and bitch and moan about airport policies, and yet you cannot get a tenth of that anger directed towards a state that steals right out of their pocket, that steals right out of their children's mouths. It's a sign of ignorance for the most part. But it is worth commenting on that it's a bad sign that an entire nation can be distracted to this smallish problem and yet ignore much greater problems that face them, problems that are going to destroy this nation. The TSA is not going to destroy this nation, but the government that created it and its various other organs, such as the IRS and the paramilitary forces running around like commandos, shooting and killing U.S. citizens on a daily basis. Those are the ones who are going to destroy this country. It is quite a discouraging sight to see that. But that is our message here at the Freeman Project, that we want to bring into light the real problems, that this state is a corrupted, decaying mechanism for governing, and that it's going to take us all down with it. It's headed there. Our currency is headed towards worthlessness. Our economic security stands on the edge. We are only a few years from Weimar Germany in the 30s, where people stood in long lines, literally starving, homeless, and at that point things can go multiple series of directions. Either this state can crack down even harder, which I believe they have the apparatus to do so. They've been setting it up for the last 15 years. And I have a feeling that they have read their history, and they understand that at the time of civil strife and unrest, they have to move hard and fast. And if movements like this and others are not organized and not manned to a sufficient level, there will be no one to stand up against that. I don't believe individual militias numbering some 15 to 30 men for every 300 or 400 miles across this nation can stand up and do anything against a government that decides to end constitutional liberties once and for all, including the right to speak up and communicate anything against this government. There's no militia. They will be scattered. They'll be living in the hills, barely surviving. But where does that leave the rest of us? That's why I think it is very important that people try to learn and understand how the depths of depravity that this government has gone to and is headed towards. You think it takes 50% is bad? It's going to take 70% from you. It's going to devalue your currency even more so that your wages are meaningless. I hope you all will go and read an article that I just posted on the Freeman Project talking about how a family of four that earns some $15,000 or less actually lives better than a family of four earning $60,000. What does that mean? That means a family with a lazy, useless head of household who does just enough to earn some money once in a while through government intervention and subsidies actually ends up getting more money in their pocket than a productive U.S. worker earning an average or actually a high salary of some $60,000. That's the sort of thing that burns me up. That's the core of the issue, that the Native American countrymen are being screwed over, that we can work as hard as we want, as long as we want, and it won't mean a damn thing. And that's what I want to drill into your head, into your psyche. Uncork that anger. All you have to do is look around. Look at your situation as a worker. What have you achieved? Nothing! Nothing. You're lucky to own a house that's still in debt. Your cars, they're marginal pieces, still in debt. You have not even come close to achieving what true wealth you produced over your lifetime. Most of that has been stolen from you. And I don't mean that in a traditional commie bull of capitalist versus worker. That's not true. That's all a lie. It's been stolen from you by this government. It takes it. So we continue our message. I will again post very soon and hopefully talk to you again. goodbye and good.